Hey girly, thank you so much for reaching out. I'd absolutely love to show how to create a step sheet. I know this process can be pretty overwhelming and there's nowhere else that we can go to learn how to do that. So I'd love to show how it is done. So I have had experiences with two separate people out of the step sheets that I had submitted to Copper Knob. One of them does go over the step sheet that is submitted. They go over the steps, the terminology, and the counts, making sure that it actually makes sense. The other person that I submitted one of my step sheets to, they just approve it. They don't reach back out and they don't ask questions. They don't ask anything if there's anything that's confusing. So just keep that in mind. And the person that had corrected me on my first submission for my step sheet, they were the ones that pushed me to learn how to create a actual step sheet. So let's begin. All right, so we are looking at the exact format that was approved on Copper Knob. And the best way to describe what step sheets are like is that they are like a very detailed diary, and they are very detailed diary entry. You include everything in it, including the steps, the simple steps that you're doing, the most detailed steps that you're doing, including the counts. And you are also including where in the dance you start and everything else that goes along with that, which I will describe in this video. So starting off, you want to label it. And so the proper way to label it is step sheet 2, the name of the dance. So the name of this dance is Jacked Up. So I put Jacked Up there. Underneath that, you put the song that you choreographed it to. So I put Jacked Up, and it's the remix version. I like the remix version to it better, so I put that in, and then it's featuring Colt Ford. So that is the name of the song. Next, on the left side, this is the header. So the header includes just everything that's the overall detail of the dance. So on the left side, you put how many counts there are. There are 4 sections of 8 counts in this dance, so that means there are 32 counts. In the center, you put how many walls there are. So this dance is danced to 4 walls. And so there's 4 walls. Underneath that, if there are tags, no tags, and if there are restarts or no restarts or multiple restarts, you put that in there. For this particular dance, there are no tags, but there is 1 restart. So you put that there. And so underneath wall 4, there's no tags and there is a restart, just 1 restart. Underneath that, you list yourself as the choreographer. And so I'm the choreographer for this dance, so I put myself for that choreographer. All right, so off to the right is the level. I listed this dance as intermediate beginner. On Copper Knob itself, it's listed as improver. And so I have mentioned before that I have experienced 2 different people submitting the sheets to the person that I have submitted this particular step sheet to. They were the ones that went through the sheet and labeled the level to a different level after reviewing this sheet. And so after this, we are going to mark in the dance and the time when the dance starts. This helps essentially everybody. So for this dance, it begins at the 15-second mark when Charlie Farley says, "Give me them their buckshot, buckshot." And then after that, that is where we start our diary entry and the details of the diary. So like I said earlier, this dance has 32 counts in it. That just means there are 4 sections of 8 counts. And so there are 4 sections that we have to describe. And to start off, we are going to write out what those sections are. So the first 8 count, it's 1 through 8. Second one is 9 through 16. Third one is 17 through 24. And the last 8 count is 25 to 32. And then for this 8 count, it's the diary entry. So simple steps that you are describing. So you're walking, you're clapping, you're walking, you're clapping, right foot forward and you hold it, left foot forward, then you hold it. Underneath that, you are describing exactly what that is, but with the counts and more in detail if necessary. So step 1, you are describing what that is. It's a walk, but you walk forward with the right foot. You're describing what that walk is. Step 2, count 2, is a clap, describing that clap. Step 3, you walk again, but with what foot? It's the left foot. Step 4, it's a clap. 5, you step right foot forward, but what do? You hold. So you hold on step 6 and you hold the right foot. To finish this 8 count, left foot forward and then a hold. So step 7, you step left foot forward, and then step 8, you hold with the left foot. After that, same exact thing. You're just laying out what that 8 count is and then describing it. So simple terms and then describing. And so the next 8 count is counts 9 through 16. That is simple terms, 2 right foot kicks. You step right foot forward, and then it's a lunge hop facing new wall. And it's backwards. It's a lunge hop going backwards facing the new wall. To describe that fully with the counts, step 1, right foot kick, the first one. And then count 2, you step down. It's a kick. So you kick and then you step it down. That's a second count. Third count, you kick again with the right foot because you described it here. You kick 2 times. Count 4, you step it down. Step 5, you step forward, right foot step forward. And then this is where the detail goes more in handy. So it's a step forward, but while you're doing that, you turn a quarter over the left shoulder to the new wall. So you're describing the new wall. And then put in which wall that is. 9 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 12 o'clock, whatever wall that is. After that, you finish it out. So it's a hold, and then the lunge hop backwards. Lunge hop backwards. And then you hold for 8 counts. And you do that for the rest. So count 17 through 24, describing simple terms, and then lay it out with the counts. And then onto the last 8 count. I'm just gonna show this part just because I know this is a part with a lot of descriptions in it. And so this is also where it gets confusing for some choreographers. So just as before, the top, this is the last 8 count in my dance. But this goes for anybody that has more movement in their dances. And so this section has more descriptions that need to be written out. And so the last 8 count is 25 through 32. So this is the heel grinds in the dance. And so at the top, you're just doing the overall description of what this 8 count is, but also describing that you are changing, if there's new walls, you are changing it. So even though it's the overall description of it, you need to include what is going on in that 8 count. And then to describe it fully and in detail, you include it at the bottom where you're including it in the counts. And so there's that. And then for dances, you literally just, since they are syncopated, you just describe what each count is until you are done doing that. So this is towards the end. If you are doing walls or anything, you need to include where that is. And so for me, it's at the end of the 32 counts and you switch to new walls. And so that's with the new wall description, and then restarts. I put my restarts at the end. This is also where song mapping is also very important to do. I know a lot of people don't know what that is. That is simply just listening to the song and then doing the dance as you're doing it, but also marking in the song where you're doing things. And so restart, you are listening to the song and you are paying attention to where in the song that is at. And so the restart for this dance is when the dance itself hits the 3-3-3 mark. And then also, I know a lot of people do have dance experience and music experience. And so we can hear that in the song and associate that with the dance. A lot of people don't. And a lot of people just want to have fun and just do the dance. And so they don't really pay attention to that. So it is important as a choreographer to also listen to the dance, map it out, and notate where in the song the restart is at. So for this song, it is at the 3-3-3 mark. And while we're dancing, you can hear that. And so it's also important to put it where the lyric is at. And so for this dance, at the 3-3-3 mark, it's where Charlie Farley says, "Let's ride." And so I hope that helped. If there is anything else, just let me know. I'd be happy to help and explain.